YouTubers who are codependent on me. They can't grow their shit without fucking leeching off of my existence. So I think I might know a few people online who suffer from this. It's basically like Jane and Jesse from Breaking Bad. Exactly. How is Classy Star the smartest person here? I don't even think he's old enough to be in a psychology course. Epstein is spying through Alexa. I don't know what that's in reference to. A for Asperger. Okay, good. Andy Signor. No, Andy Signor does not rely on me. I was talking about somebody else. To answer your question, yes, there's articles about Joker popping up in Hong Kong, Lebanon, Chile, Iraq, and other places. No wonder why it's about to pass $1 billion worldwide. I have anxiety, raise it to B, you dingus. No! Oh, that makes you anxious. Das the sauce boy? Yeah, well, yeah. Let's see. Does anybody else have any... Ocean Man? Okay. Does anybody have any thoughts on codependency? Because really, I don't know where to put it. Maybe C? Because it's... I don't know. It's like, at least with these other ones, I'm fucked in my own head. Codependency, you're fucked up and you're taking your fuckery and fucking up somebody else too. And the ones that heavily affect the lives of other people, in my mind, are far more intense than the ones where it's just, I'm suffering alone, laying in bed wishing I was dead. I think that's a far better, in terms of humanity, it's far better for one guy to be sad in his room rather than some bitch trying to ruin a guy's life. Horrible. Your entire fan base is codependent. D for desperate. R for Rusty. Who's Rusty codependent on? Do a collab with Simi and Jimmy. Now, that guy, I heard that guy's he's a big fuck up. C for fucking cucks. I like that. Yeah, codependent. C for fucking cucks. Because it's desperate and sad, and man, be mentally ill in your own head. Don't fuck with other people. To the C you go. ADHD. Boy, ADHD is one of those where there's so many that are similar that I don't know how to discern them. What specifically makes an ADHD patient different than like ADD or OCD? I guess we'll find out. Okay, Google. What is ADHD?
According to Mayo Clinic, a chronic condition including attention difficulty, hyperactivity, and impulsiveness.
Oh, okay. So it's the one that you get Adderall for then? I don't know. That sounds like one of those where anybody can be diagnosed with it. You go to the doctor and say, "Oh, doctor, oh man, doc, I gotta tell you, I have so much trouble paying attention in my 4-hour lecture at college. Oh, I must have ADHD. Please give me those pills that I can sell for $30 each." What? So getting bored is ADHD? Oh, I had to watch something boring and I couldn't pay attention. I must have ADHD. Am I wrong here? ADHD and ADD are classified as the same thing nowadays anyway. Well, I guess we'll throw them both in the same thing. ADHD means you can't focus on anything you don't enjoy. Well, that's fucking lame. Depression, you can't focus on things you do enjoy. And we only put that one in B tier. ADHD, you're just a normal person. You're only interested in things you like? Yeah, no shit. It's called being a human. Fucking stupid. F tier. Fuck you. Fuck you. Nobody actually has that shit. Fuck you. It's all fake. That ADHD is the adult version of being a 14-year-old. Okay. Alzheimer's. Oh! Ironically, I can't remember what Alzheimer's is. Inappropriate, folks. Inappropriate. It's disgusting. It degrades your mind to the point where you don't recognize your own children. Your own children, folks. Can you imagine how scared and lonely it must be to be an 80-year-old with Alzheimer's? Every single person you meet is a stranger. You don't know who you are. You're lost and alone in a world, and you probably don't even know that death is an option. Fuck that. The Alzheimer's of killers. Man, mental illness is a scam. I don't know about that, Polygon. Alzheimer's is a boomer disease. Okay, boomer. I have Alzheimer's. Wait, what's Alzheimer's? Good one, classy. Okay, let's see what OK Google has to say. What is Alzheimer's?
According to Mayo Clinic, a progressive disease that destroys memory and other important mental functions.
Man, to have your brain, which in essence, souls are not real, folks. Your entire personality and sense of being is all up here. There's no soul in your gut. It's fucking made up. You're buying into the Kool-Aid. Your existence is right here. Your body is just it's like a suit of armor. It's a vessel. The real you is inside your brain. Alzheimer's is your brain rotting from the inside. That is fucked. That is so fucked. If I get Alzheimer's, somebody please kill me. It's not murder if somebody asks you to do it. It's a mercy killing. It's euthanasia. Please euthanize me if I get Alzheimer's. This is the fourth time you asked Google what really it is. Oh, no. Oh, the fact that of all the ones we've been through so far, the one that I would want to have the least is Alzheimer's because it's fucking terrifying. Your brain rots, you lose your memories, you lose your sense of self, then the functionality of your body degrades, and then you fucking die. Talk about a slow motion suicide, folks. Jesus Christ. Just from if phobia is A and getting Alzheimer's is one of my biggest phobias, I feel like Alzheimer's should be S tier. I can't imagine a more horrific way to die than to have your brain rot from the inside out. You don't realize it's happening. I mean, whether or not you realize it's happening, if you wake up in a world where you don't know who you are and you don't recognize the people around you, that is horrific. That is fucking horrific. My grandfather died from a combination of Alzheimer's and my aunt fucking killing him. It sounds like the murder was more the cause of death on that one. I've been waiting an entire fucking hour to post a comment. Hi, Mumkey, I love your content, and you've gotten me through tough times. Hey, thanks, Meat Graffiti. You've gotten me through tough comment reading sections, but that one just saved the day. Hey, Grandma, can I have $5? Uh-oh. She wouldn't even know that you're her grandson. She'd have no idea. I'll kill you if you have Alzheimer's. Just remember to hit me up when you do. Uh-oh. All right. Panic disorder. I experienced my first ever genuine panic attack earlier this year, folks. Not fun. Had to call an ambulance because I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I thought I was having a heart attack, especially because I at the time I was going to the doctor for heart condition related issues. And then on my drive home, when it feels like I'm having a heart attack, I genuinely think, oh, today's the day I fucking die. Today's the day I die of a heart attack driving home. Turns out it was just a panic attack. I don't know if panic disorder is the same as a panic attack. I have to imagine it is similar. Let's see what OK Google has to say. What is panic disorder?
According to Medline Plus, panic disorder is a type of anxiety disorder. It causes panic attacks, which are sudden feelings of terror when there is no real danger. You may feel as if you are losing control. You may also have physical symptoms, such as...
Yeah. So, from my experience, and why I thought it was a heart attack, is because I always heard when you're having a heart attack, it's intense pressure and pain in your chest, and your limbs go numb. And when it happened to me, like it looked like I had cerebral palsy. Like my fucking hands were all distorted and shit, and I literally could not move them. Like my fingers were all fucked up, and I had no control. Like I said, I thought it was a heart attack, but it wasn't. You have shortness of breath. I was breathing so heavily. Like you can't breathe. Your chest is just fucking... And you get all fucked up. It was not fun. It was not fun at all. But I don't know if it's specifically defined as feeling terror when there is no real danger. I mean, it sounds like you're kind of doing it to yourself. What did I walk in on? I'm doing my impression of having a panic attack. Hey, Grandma, can I have $5? No, that's not a fucking stroke. I did not have a stroke. Panic attack? Just attack people normally. Okay. The feeling of a panic attack is horrific and truly physically painful. But once you realize there's nothing to be scared of, it's really just, you gotta have the mental fortitude. This is one of those things where you can outthink the illness. Unlike some of these other ones, you can just realize, wait, there's no fucking danger. I'm just freaking out and getting shortness of breath. And the shortness of breath is why my arms are getting all fucked up and crippled. It's all about regulating your breathing. And that's why if you call the suicide hotline, they'll walk you through things to help stop panic attacks. They'll do breathing exercises with you. You got to hold it back and forth. You look around the room and you name 5 things you got to do all your senses, like name 5 things you can see, name 5 things you can smell, name 5 things you can touch. So if you can just think your way out of it, you know, it might be painful, but you just got to have #big-brain. So I'm going to throw this one in C. Because, man, it sucked, but you got to see your way out of it. I had my first panic attack when I was in 2nd grade. Well, hopefully my first is also my last. Not planning on doing that again. Good joke, Dad. Thanks, Waffle. I'm glad you liked it. Add porn addiction to the list. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Oof. It meant a lot more back in, the war days, World War II. Vietnam, people come home from seeing blood and bones and it's always being in panic that they're gonna fucking explode and be shot to death. These days, people claim to have PTSD from being trolled on the internet. It's really been watered and normified down. And I feel like it has to lose a few points for that. Back in the day, PTSD that shit was brutal and badass. These days, half the people who claim to have it are fucking scrubs. I believe they termed it in World War I. Yeah, that makes sense. Doug Wilde almost had a panic attack filming Fast. What happened? You should make a behind-the-scenes documentary about that. I love that short film you made. I got PTSD when I got cucked. Oof. 9/11 have no effect on me. Just stop being stressed, LMAO. It's basically reliving a memory that you don't want to remember. Yeah. It's absolute hell. You feel like you're going to explode at seeing or even remembering what happened. It's absolute hell. Yeah. And for veterans of war or people who were brutally physically attacked, that's probably about as bad in my mind as Alzheimer's, to be honest. But for the people who say, oh, Gamergate gave me PTSD. All these men online judging me for having sex with multiple partners. Oh. Oh, really? You have PTSD from that? Well, maybe you deserved it. I don't know. Sounds like you just need to fucking think your way past that one. Why are you using black and white? Because I have a huge red zit on my nose and I was embarrassed about it. I said, I'm going to be black and white today. Tomorrow you can see me in full color during Is It Kino. Gamergate is real. Okay. PTSD, just out of respect for the veterans who actually experience it when they hear a fucking car engine fucking and they think that they're getting shot at and they lose their mind. Out of respect for that, I'm going to place it right next to pedophilia. Schizophrenia. Oh! Okay, Google. What is schizophrenia?
According to Mayo Clinic, a disorder that affects a person's ability to think, feel, and behave clearly.
may result in some combination of hallucinations, delusions, and extremely disordered thinking and behavior that impairs daily functioning and can be disabling. People with schizophrenia require lifelong treatment. Oof. That's a big oof. So in some ways, it's like just being high all day, every day for months. Oops. My granny was schizo, and she died in a psycho house. Oof. I'm very interested in schizophrenia. I am too. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Stupid. Schizophrenia sounds pretty epic, bro. Hey, Grandma, can I have $5? This is a fun one. I'd like to feel delusions. I don't know. Isn't dreaming, like you go to bed and have a dream, isn't that delusion enough? Do you really want to still have those delusions when you wake up and you can't discern reality from the fabrication of your demented mind? The abbreviation for it is SIZ, and for that it's an A tier. Twitch wants to see my Snapchat woman filter. Yeah, I could probably... I think I've posted that before. Back when the Snapchat woman filter was a big thing, I think I tweeted it out if anybody wants to go find it. You might believe you're in 1984, and it's pretty epic for that. My girlfriend just broke up with me. Well, you're going to get PTSD? All right, I don't know. It's hard for me to... Schizophrenia just seems like generic crazy person suffering from delusions and all that shit. What do you guys think? Whatever the chat thinks, I'll throw it there. S tier, S tier. I guess when you think of a crazy person, the image in your mind is probably a schizophrenic, right? A tier, S tier. I see lots of S's. I think the people, they know what they want. Since it's the all-encompassing ideology of being a crazy person, I think, yeah, S tier makes sense. S for schizo. Split personality. Didn't we already cover that in one of these other ones? Borderline personality? Is split personality the headmates thing? It'd be like literally the movie Split, where James McAvoy, sometimes he's an old British woman, sometimes he's a little boy. Is that an accurate depiction of what it is like in real life? I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think? Joker? I don't think Joker had a split personality. I think he's a guy who, once he was able to wear a mask, he was allowed to show his true self. Arthur Fleck tried to be the happy-go-lucky guy, but society said, no, you can't be that person. So he said, fine, I'll be the man who I've truly been on the inside the entire time when I put on the face paint. Drinking Arnold Palmer iced tea be like? What? Because it's two different drinks in one? Harvey Dent and Two-Face. Arthur wasn't split, he was just fucked over by a society! That's right! Destiny Hero Double Dude. Split was P-dope until the end. Yeah. I like Split and Glass. I thought they were both pretty good. Would it be cool to see Arthur Joker in DCCU? I don't know. I kind of hope they don't make a sequel, because they can only fuck it up. Especially when you end a movie with a more or less ambiguous ending. It'd be like if they made a sequel to Inception. It's like, oh, well, there goes that ending. I guess now we know what happened. I don't know. I like it being a standalone, personally. Arthur had brain damage, move it up a tier. If there was a sequel to Joker, I'd want it to be called The Killing Joke. Joker has to meet Harley, though. Harley's doing her own movie, The Birds of Prey, and that Harley has her own Joker from Suicide Squad, so I don't think this Joker can have a Harley. Split personality. The movie Split was pretty good, but then again, people on Tumblr pretend to have headmates, and that's the same thing, and that's just embarrassing. I'm thinking of B. Yeah, are you guys comfortable with putting this in B? Joker doesn't have to meet Harley. Fuck you. Thank you, Bacon. C, B, F, it's fake. You'd like to see a standalone Two-Face movie like Joker did? Yeah, that should be its own classification of DC movies. Is each Batman villain gets their own Joker-esque movie. I would be down to clown with that. Hey, Lawanda, Silly Feathers, thank you for the bits. Okay, it looks like people are okay with C, so let's throw this bad boy in. Let's throw it in C. No, in B. In B. I like the movie Split. What can I say? I think it's an accurate depiction. Down syndrome. Oh no. Well. D for Downs. I don't. Okay. Let's see if OK Google can classify this better than I can. What is Down syndrome?
According to Mayo Clinic, a genetic chromosome 21 disorder causing developmental and intellectual delays.
How do I talk about this without being canceled? That's the question of the day. I'm just gonna put it out there. I've never, and I cannot speak for all Down syndrome people. I've never seen somebody with Down syndrome who was sad. I think the expression "ignorance is bliss" is the truest idiom humanity has ever crafted. And I don't know if it's horrible to say, but people with Down syndrome, they seem to be pretty happy people. And that's not so bad. It's really not so bad. Am I wrong? I hate disabled people. No, I didn't say that. It's the best syndrome. I proved it in ISMA number 3. I haven't listened to those since they came out, and I was wasted on most of them, so I don't remember anything I said in those. C for chromosome. Okay. Those with Down syndrome bring a little more to the table. Wait till you hear them scream. There is that TV show, What Would You Do? And they did an episode about like a Down syndrome cashier at a grocery store, and they would have actors, you know, the Down syndrome actor, and then like the actor who's a customer, and the customer would be like, I can't believe you're letting this guy work here. He's way too slow. And then you see how the non-actors, like it's a hidden camera show, and you see how the other people react. And, you know, it was touching. People defend the Down syndrome actor, and then they find out they're on TV, and then they give them a hug. I was like, this is heartwarming. I enjoy watching this. It's they're taking advantage of somebody with a mental illness, or I guess a chromosome disorder, to make their TV show. I respect it. So there's always a Down syndrome cashier at Publix. Why is that making me laugh? Didn't I write a whole manifesto about how I hate disabled people? I don't fucking think I did. You're thinking of Hitler. That's not me. Again, as horrible as it might be to say, if I had to choose of all these which ones I would prefer to have, it would be like I want to have autism. Bipolar is better than being depressed because you got to be manic sometimes. And then maybe I think Down syndrome would be number 3. Doesn't seem that bad. People might like judge you and scoff at you, but fuck those people. People who look down and treat Down syndrome people like shit, they're the ones with the real fucking disorder. Down syndrome people are cool as hell. I've never seen one who was rude or mean to anybody. They're just nice people. Oh, what the hell is this? I gotta read that. It's too small for me to even see. Hey, great. Let's load it up. I just realized I didn't even have my my donation thing on screen, so people can't even donate if they want to, which is probably fine. I don't think I've earned getting donations yet. When you end game yourself, can you give me a shout out? That would really turn me on. Sure thing, slave owner 420. Thanks for the $5. If you want to throw in a tip before the end of the stream and see your thing on screen, it's streamlabs.com/mumkeyjones. I forgot to put that on screen, but that's fine. Okay, Down syndrome. I'm going to throw that in A tier. Do we have too many A's? Maybe. But what are you going to do? When's the last time you've had a fun conversation with a Downy? Go check my fucking comment section. All due respect. Robert Downey Jr. Talk to him all the time. That's it. Cannibalism. Is cannibalism a mental illness? I thought it's just having good taste in cuisine. Yum, yummy, tasty thumbs. I've never met a rude cannibal. Doesn't Ocampo have this one? Oof. Let's see. Okay, how many cannibals are in the chat? Post C for cannibal if you're a cannibal in the chat. I want to see how common this is. Technically, if somebody swallows semen, doesn't that make them a cannibal? If I chew my fingernails and swallow them, does that make me a cannibal? Lots of C's in the chat. Great to see you all there. If I eat my fingernails, am I a cannibal? Because I'm consuming a human. Am I wrong? Am I wrong here, folks? What, if I have anxiety and I chew my fingernails all day? Jerk off and swallow my own cum? It's just carotene. This automata is retarded. Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll fix it next time. I eat all the people who help me with my videos so I don't have to pay them. F chimp. Yeah, cannibalism, as far as mental illnesses go, it seems sort of like a meme. There are probably more fictional character cannibals than there are actual cannibals in the world. And personally, I've never met anybody who has suffered from this. How many cases of actual cannibalism are there in the world? Like 5 a year? A baby breastfeeding is cannibalism? It sounds like it. It sounds like it. Yeah, I don't think cannibalism is as big of a deal as the media would want you to think. Personally, I've never met a cannibal, and if I did, I'm offended that they didn't try to eat me, because I think I look pretty good. Really, what's the difference between cannibalism and an eating disorder? They're one and the same. D tier. Shit tier. Garbage. Foreign accent syndrome? How about another cannibalism joke, Murray? Okay. Okay, Google. What is foreign accent syndrome?
According to the University of Texas at Dallas, foreign accent syndrome is speech disorder that causes a sudden change to speech so that a native speaker is perceived to speak with a foreign accent.
Okay. So it's like if a college student studies abroad for 2 weeks and they come back and they suddenly have a fucking Australian accent. Wowee. Okay, so foreign accent syndrome, a.k.a. pretentious douchebag syndrome. Disgusting. I'm going to throw an F tier because it already made me mad. But if any of you have any opinions on it to change my mind, let me know now. You transform into Apu from The Simpsons. F for foreign. This doesn't sound real. I'm sure it's real, but it's just stupid. Who cares? Oh, now I talk with a different accent. Oh, I'm so mentally ill. Dumb. Damn right it's pretentious. Thank you. I've got this. It's really sad. Yeah, I'm sure your life has been put on hold, RoboSlop. How can you survive now that you have a different accent? It's the shitty Wook guy from South Park. The fact you put Alzheimer's in A and not literally who pisses me off. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. A bowelomania? Okay. Let's see if I can pronounce this. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. What is a bowelomania?
Here are some results from a search.
Nope. It didn't even know what I was talking about. Okay, let's do the old-fashioned Googling. Ballomania is a mental disorder in which the patient displays pathological indecisiveness. It is typically associated with anxiety, stress, depression. So basically, whenever you ask your girlfriend what she wants to get for dinner, she's suffering from a ballomania. She cannot decide. As somebody who has spent a lot of time with people who are extremely indecisive, it pisses me off to no end. I might have the disorder where ballomaniacs drive me insane. Like, bitch, here are the two options. Fucking pick one before I rip your goddamn throat out. Just pick one. You have to have a preference. Just fucking pick one. Choose. Decide. God damn it. Just fucking pick one. Why are you so indecisive? Fuck you. I hate it. I hate it. This is another fake disorder. It's just fucking women don't know what the fuck they want to eat for dinner. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fucking every single college freshman. Oh, I'm going to change my major 12 times. Take a fucking class. Don't change the major yet. Just take some goddamn classes. Why are you changing this shit so often? I can't decide how indecisive I am. I hate women. That's a quote. That's a quote. What are you going to do? I'm not going to read that one, Polygon. I'm trying to keep this channel up. Seems like Mumkey had first-hand experience with this. First hand, second hand, third hand, every hand. Too many hands. My sisters don't actually take that long. Give them my phone number. Sup, you man. Okay, ADD. Okay, yeah. If we're saying ADD is the same thing as ADHD, that's another F tier. We've had 3 F tiers in a row. Parkinson disease. Is that what Michael J. Fox has? If that is, if I recall, the stereotype of Parkinson's is that you can't stop shaking and shit, but it turns out it's actually the opposite. Parkinson's is when your muscles shut down and you can't move, and it's the medication that you take for Parkinson's. The medication makes it so you can move, but it's so effective you gotta get Am I wrong? Let's see what Google has to say. Okay, Google. What is Parkinson disease?
According to Mayo Clinic, a disorder of the central nervous system that affects movement, often including tremors.
Okay, so I think I was right. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. You're right, I think my grandfather has it, yeah. So Parkinson's on its own is your body shutting down so you can't move. One of my biggest fears, that's horrific. And the only cure, the only way to make it so you can move is a medication that makes you vibrate and shake uncontrollably all the fucking time. And because of Parkinson's, Michael J. Fox had to stop being in major motion pictures. And Back to the Future is my favorite movie. I don't know if when the disease is bad, the cure is bad, and you take away my Michael J. Fox, that's a trifecta of bullshit. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go B tier. You know what? And I'm satisfied with that. That's the full thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think we got this? Are there any here in this tier list that are just egregious in that we should move immediately, or do you think we got a pretty good thing going here? Michael J. Fox seemed to be fine in that Back to the Future reunion. Just stay still, LMAO. Just stop moving. Just try harder to move. Don't need the meds. Yeah, good advice. Cannibalism, change it to B for Brandon. And drug abuse is biased, but okay. I mean, they're all biased. It's a list of my opinions. What do you think a tier list is? There should be a lot more here. I'm just doing the one that some guy sent me. Speaking of which, if you want to make custom tier lists for us to do together on Twitch, send them to mumkeyquiz@gmail.com, and every once in a while we'll hop in and do these together. I thought this was a lot of fun. Would you guys want to do one more? I think somebody made one about my podcast. Does anybody want to quickly rank all of my podcasts together. Let's take a look and see if I can find it. All right. How you doing, Spyro? Harbor Speedway, good. Inbox. Okay, here are some. Let me tell you about Homestuck. No. Mumkey podcast tier list. Here we go. Let's do this one real smooth like. Okay. So it looks like an incomplete list. I got to be honest. I feel like I've been in a lot more podcasts than just these, especially considering the fact that you included the one I did with Mage, and we only had one episode. But let's run through this. State of the YouTube, the podcast of Rusty Cage, Emperor Lemon, and Mumkey Jones. Recently came to an official end. We did one final live stream together while I was down in Florida 2 weeks ago. And we did a live reaction to the Gokanaru video about me. And Emp formally announced he no longer likes doing the podcast. And Rusty Cage and I will continue it with a new name on the same channel. So if you want to tune into that, it's not too late to subscribe. What do you guys think? This really isn't about me. This is about what podcasts you guys enjoyed the most. Sodi, I think, even though it only lasted about a year, I think some good memories came out of that. We learned that Quentin Reviews really loves playing with Legos while recording podcasts, really loud Legos. I got to talk to guys like Eggy. One Egg White or Eggman or whatever you want to call him. Got to talk to Anxiety War for 3 thrilling hours. I really enjoyed that podcast. I thought that was interesting. I enjoyed all of the different, the variety of guests that we had on the show. The types of guests that other podcasts wouldn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. But Rusty Emp and I, we couldn't be more excited to get those people on to talk to them. So what do you guys think? Stop boasting, put it on S tier? I'm not boasting, I'm just reminiscing. If you guys really like it, let's go for it. And then, of course, the famous episode where Emp reveals that he's a vegan and he talks about his Taco Bell order. There are so many classics. So many classics. All right. Nobody's going to remember this one. The Anime Spectrum podcast. Something that I think we did like 3 years ago. It was pretty much the first time I met Asperger. This is back when his profile picture was just anime Jesus Christ. And it's a podcast where we would invite on a guest each episode. We had like Psy, Digibro, Ben Saint, these different people. And the gimmick was we would review the first episode of an anime chosen by the audience, but then the podcast would quickly devolve into Asperger and I trolling whoever the guest was. Like, we would pretend to get into huge fights, and like one time he decided he's going to quit the podcast and he just left, and we tried our best to be good actors so that the guest didn't know what was going on, but I think it was pretty clear everybody knew what was going on. Famously, the Anime Spectrum podcast is the reason why iDubbbz unsubscribed from my YouTube channel. He subscribed because he liked my anime review series, and then when I started uploading this shitty, horrible podcast, he unsubscribed. So fuck me, I guess. It was S tier. No, it's unlistenable. It's utter garbage, and I hate it. I cannot put it in S tier. What do you think about the stinky meme? I'm not aware of that one, Classy. Surprised he subscribed in the first place. Me too, to be honest. Me too. I only remember the King of the Hill episode, C tier. C tier. Okay. If you guys say C tier, we'll go for C tier. Is It Kino? The podcast that is returning in approximately 13 and a half hours right here on Twitch, folks. Erich McSoy has left the building, and all that remain are Florian and I. But we're going to try to get some occasional guests. If you don't know, Is It Kino is our movie review show where we watch a movie and then we talk about it. And usually it devolves into intense arguments about politics and gender and things that really don't have much to do with movies at all. And it gets really uncomfortable really fast a lot of the time. But it's also a lot of fun and probably one of my favorite podcasts that I've done. I just found out E-Rich is a real name. Sad. You thought I made it up? No, that's his fucking name. Weren't you going to replace E-Rich? We were, but then he decided to unquit the show, and then he decided to again quit the show. So it threw a wrench into the whole thing. I thought it was a username. No, it's a real name. Is It Kino? Lots of classic episodes, lots of shitty episodes. What do you guys think? Make him unquit? Nah. You know what? If he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't have to be there. We're going to try to get guests like, I think we might get Mahler on there at some point. Maybe Andy Signor will join in on the fun. A or B? D tier? Unlike Sodi, Is It Kino is S tier. B to A. I see lots of Bs. I see lots of As. Personally, I like Is It Kino. I'm going to put it in A tier. Right there. There you go. Insufferable Social Media Argument, the podcast. I'm just going to throw that in S tier. I think it's some of the funniest work that I've ever done. It's by far the funniest work Digibro has ever done. It's irreverent. It's satirical. It's drunken shenanigans. The audience was a huge part of the show. The audience created their own lore about Nolan North and the directional Nolans, and everybody would call in, I'm Nolan South. So much fun. So many good memories. So many laughs. And so many dollars earned from the bonus episodes. What can I say? It was a good time at the movies, folks. A good time at the movies. What happened to Manimal? Does he still not talk to you? I haven't heard from Manimal in like 3 years. I have no idea what he's up to. And evidently, he lives like 20 minutes away from where I live right now. But, sometimes it's just too late to rekindle a relationship, especially when you honestly just don't really care that much. I'm pretty bad at juggling friends. Biggs is a handful, let me tell you. It's enough. Why did I ghost Manimal? It was a mutual ghosting. We both just forgot to ever talk to the other person. Remember that time when Digibro unironically called you the N-word on Isma? I don't remember that, but it was probably really funny. Well, what do you mean unironically called you the N-word? Is there an ironic version of calling somebody the N-word? I'm not black, so there's no circumstance where he can genuinely mean it. Whatever. Don't think of Manimal as a friend. Think of him as a source of views and money. I don't think Manimal's the one who is going to bring in the big bucks. What are you talking about? The most views a Manimal video ever got is probably like 3,000. Yeah, Digi says the N-word all the time. It's not a big deal. Anyway, The Depression Chamber. A show that is returning this Monday, folks. Monday fun day. That's right. You guys excited? You shouldn't be. I like The Depression Chamber. I see it as evidence that we are not alone in our mental illnesses. One of the worst mental traps you can fall into when you're deep in your depression is that you're all alone. Nobody else knows the way you feel. You think you're having a unique experience because your brain is fucking with you, and it seems like the whole world is against you. But then you watch a show like The Depression Chamber, and you realize there are millions of people with the identical brain problems. And for better or worse, I think that's a helpful thing to know. Like, it's kind of sad to realize there are so many people suffering just as bad as you. But it's also you need to have that realization that it's not unique to you. And also, the show is pretty fucking funny. Because some of these people, as sad as their stories are, even they would admit their buffoonery and their social fuck-ups are just plain hilarious. That's why the Elliot Rodger Manifesto is the greatest comedic manifesto autobiography of the modern century, the modern age. Depression Chamber is A. D for depressed, but seriously B or A tier. B, 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 B. I'm dating the fuck Ashley guy now. Oh, wow. You realize all the depressed people in the world are children are autistic when you watch the Depression Chamber? Yeah. Well, people seem to like it. I'm going to go A tier. The two really long Depression Chamber episodes I have on the Simi and Jimmy channel, if you haven't listened to them, just throw it on in the background while you're doing laundry or something. They're worth listening to. It's a good time at the movies, folks. Okay, this one, if you don't recognize it, it's for good reason. Maybe 4 years ago, I think I was 19 or 20 at the time, so like 4 or 5 years ago, whenever the biggest problem in the universe podcast broke up, Maddox started his own podcast and Dick Masterson started his own podcast. And they came out at the same time. And to the fan base of the biggest problem, this was before they hated Maddox or they hated Dick or whatever. So a lot of us were listening to both shows. And there was this guy who is straight up unhinged on YouTube. His name is King Critic. He was a fan of mine, and I think I met him on Discord. And people like him are one of the reasons why I refuse to get on Discord anymore, because you run into some absolute fucking psychopathic maniacs. But we were both big fans of The Biggest Problem, so King Critic and I started a podcast where we would review that week's episode of The Dick Show and that week's episode of The Maddox Show, and we would compare and contrast them and see who put out the better podcast that week. And it was funny because Sean, the audio engineer, was on both shows, so we had rankings like which show had the better Sean this week and stuff like that. It was kind of fun. Sometimes King Critic would go off on a rant about getting rejected at the local swimming pool or some shit. But really, it's probably a living nightmare. I'm going to throw that into D. I'd rather listen to Anime Spectrum for sure. This one is a podcast. Back when I was in the PCP, the only girl in the group was Mage, and she was also the one who talked to everybody the least amount. I think everybody else in the PCP talks to each other all the time. They actually meet up in person. Mage is the one who I think, other than Hypocrite, none of them have ever seen in person, and most of them I don't think even know what she looks like. And as a newcomer, Mage and I were both sort of the outsiders of the group. And at the time, Hypocrite and Nate, they have like a One Piece podcast, I think, where each week they'll podcast about the latest chapter of One Piece. So I thought, hey, let's do a parody. What would be the least expected thing I could possibly do? What if Mage and I released a podcast where we review the Naruto anime book one page at a time? And so we put it out pretty much as an April Fool. It's like a 30-minute podcast of these two people who never interact ever, reviewing the first page of Naruto. Funny gimmick. Don't know why it's on this fucking list, though. Don't know why it's on this list, because it was a one-off joke. Is my music really playing the egg hatching sound effect? Okay. Let's, So I'm going to throw this into, it's an C tier, whatever. Boomer versus Zoomer. Oh! Woo! I think it's a pretty good show. It was a pretty good show while it lasted. It's the podcast between Asterios, Kokonos, and myself, where each week we would sit down and just try to make the other guy laugh for about an hour. And there were different segments and bits, and it was a lot of fun while it lasted, for sure. What do you guys think? A tier, S tier, S tier, S tier. Oh, people really like Boomer and Zoomer. I tend to agree. I think Insufferable Social Media Argument, the podcast, was the funnier show, but Boomer versus Zoomer still deserves the ranking of S, even if it is below Isma. The Simeon Jimmy Interview Show, a show that is currently on hiatus, where I would interview YouTubers for about an hour. We had like Siva Gunner? I already forgot it. Siva Gunner And he did one with, can't remember. That's embarrassing. You interview a guy, you can't even remember his fucking name. But most importantly, I got to interview Johnny Hardwick, the voice actor for Dale Gribble on King of the Hill. That's not just one of the highlights of my year. That's one of the highlights of my life. That's some of the most fun I've ever had. I think if you watch that, it's like a 2-hour podcast. I don't think I ever stopped smiling. I was having so much fun. So excited. Been watching that show since I was fucking 4. And suddenly Dale Gribble's voice is talking back to me. So much fun. That being said, that one great episode doesn't make it an S-tier show. I really liked the interview with Daft Peanut. Yeah, Daft Peanut was great. We got to hear what his actual voice sounds like, since in his videos he does a character. Still waiting for the Drake Bell interview. The Baseball Sam episode. Oh, talk about classic. Man, that show has some classic episodes already. We start off the episode by reviewing and watching Baseball Sam's greatest video, which I think has since been deleted from YouTube because Baseball Sam quit and deleted all his fucking videos. So I guess my video is the only archive of this that probably remains. But we watch his masterpiece, and then we get him on the call, and it becomes an impromptu episode of the interview show. And he admits that, like, that his dad was molested or some shit. There was some weird stuff in that fucking episode. If you want to get into the Simi and Jimmy interview show, watch the Dale Gribble interview and watch the Baseball Sam interview. Fucking instant classics of my career. I love them. I fucking love them. I'm gonna throw that into I'll throw that into, A tier. Fuck it. It's got, considering that half of the episodes I would consider instant classics, it's gotta be. Got a link. It's on the Simi and Jimmy YouTube channel. Just search. It's called Nostalgia Critic Jr. Simi and Jimmy interview show, because his character was Nostalgia Critic Jr. Don't ask. Just go look at it. Oh yeah, when his father was like 13, he had sex with a college girl. I love it. And they all thought it was just normal. No, we never did go bowling. The kid lived one city over from me at the time, and he refused to go bowling with me. And now I live in Iowa, so I'll never get to go bowling with Sam. All right, the PCP, folks. I had a short-lived tenure on the PCP. For those of you who don't know, the PCP is a group of friends who used to podcast about My Little Pony, but then gave into the pressure of everybody making fun of bronies, and they decided they didn't want to be bronies anymore. So they started a new show where they just circle jerk for about 3 hours each week about whatever topic they wanted to do. There's like 10 different people in the group. And sometimes you'll have 12 people on an episode. Sometimes you'll have 3. It really, who knows? Who could say? They invited me on as a guest around episode 30. Then I became a permanent fixture. And then Endless Jess had a psychotic breakdown and lost his mind because people I was friends with were bullying him, and he blamed me for not controlling other people. And Digibro can't get Endless Jess's cock out of his mouth and does whatever Jess says. So Digibro started a new Discord server, invited all of the PCP other than me in there, and straight up said, "We have to kick him out. Mumkey has to go no matter what. Don't even let him defend himself. We're going to have this meeting without him. He can't say anything to defend himself. We're just going to vote right now. And if you don't vote with me, then I'm not your friend anymore." And then he strong-armed and voted me out. And then Endless Jess didn't even return to the show. So they lost their 2 funniest people. Get fucked, I guess. Fucking morons. So I lasted about 30 episodes. What do you guys think? PCP was Mumkey's peak? I strongly disagree. I showed up for the paycheck, my friends. You think I gave a shit about whatever fucking dumb topics they had every week? Personally, I never listened to the PCP. Even when I was on it, I wouldn't listen to the show so I can't really judge it because I don't know much about it. PCP drama was peak Mumkey drama. Where have you been the last 6 months, my dude? I don't think you're correct about that. Finish off the run with this. Yeah, Munchie is great. Munchie was a vote to keep me. He's great. Yeah, PCP, not a big fan. Not a big fan. But I know a lot of people like it. We'll throw it into B tier. It can be funny at times. Finally, this is Mumkey tries to get Psy into I think we had maybe 12 episodes of this, where Psy, famous YouTuber Psy, and I would get down together each week, and one of us would try to convince the other one to like whatever random thing. So he would like try to get me into some like fucking lowly anime or some shit. I would try to get him into my favorite band, Arion, and we'd go back and forth. And, I felt really bad because I listened back to an episode not too long ago, and I think it was just a vehicle for me to subtly and not so subtly make fun of and bully Psy. And I kind of felt like a shitty person listening back to those. Because whether it's funny or not, I don't know if I needed to be making fun of him that much. It just seems kind of cruel. Because unlike like my friend Biggs, I don't think Psy can really handle it that well. It was it's not like I knew him personally. It was just kind of cruel. But I don't know. Did anybody enjoy that show? All you do is bully your friends. Yeah, but there's a difference between friends who you've known for years and they bully you back, and it's like that's your relationship, and some fucking guy you only talk to on a podcast who you've never met before who doesn't really make fun of you back. If they don't do it back, at that point I think it's just bullying. It's not friendship, you know? And I would like to think if I'm making fun of somebody, they would feel comfortable enough to make fun of me back. That's how I define friendship. The highest level of respect you can share with another person is when you can talk shit to each other's faces and still give each other a high five and a hug afterwards, because it's fucking funny and it's fun. But when it's not reciprocal, it comes across as bullying, and I don't like it. I don't like it. What do you have on you that lets people make fun of you, Mumkey? Good point. I'm infallible. Nobody could possibly make fun of me. Yeah, Asperger Versus wasn't included on the list. I don't know. I didn't make it. Just reinstall your YouTube channel, bro. What the fuck? Good point. All right. This one, it's probably on tier with the fucking PCP. Why not? Call Psy on stream. If Psy wanted to call into the stream and hang out, I'd be down for it. Probably owe him a couple apologies. But with that, I think we might be done for the night, because I kind of really have to go piss. And we did 2 fun tier lists, had a good time, had a ball. And I think this is where I say goodbye for now, but I'll be back tomorrow in approximately 13 hours for Is It Kino? The new season of Is It Kino starts, and we're planning on doing a new Is It Kino episode every single Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern time, which I think is like 11 or 10 California. I don't fucking know. 1 o'clock Eastern time every Sunday. Me and Florian sit down for Is It Kino? What movies will we review next? Who knows? But hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. First stream back after months of not streaming on Twitch. Got a good 2 hours of bullshit in. And look, according to my OBS, there were 0 dropped frames. It was pristine quality the entire time. Oh yeah, before I piss, we should end it with Brad Dassey. You guys are right. We cannot forget our traditions, folks. Cannot forget our traditions. Things work a certain way around here. I'm coming home. Okay.